So we are right here in the land of the Thunder Dragon in between China and India. It is the last Buddhist kingdom in the world and one of the only countries in Asia to have never been conquered, which is why it has managed to preserve its traditional culture, its pristine environment, and it is known today for gross national happiness. Which is why we're going to start our search to the secret to happiness right here in the Kingdom of Bhutan. How many of you here actually think you're happy? Can I just hear, raise your hands. How many of you here think you're happy?
What makes me happy is because I'm content with whatever I have and I'm satisfied with whatever I have in my life.
Happiness is when you have everything, like when you got many friends.
My secret of happiness, I don't have a secret.
I see people, they are content with what they have, and then most of the people I see, it's, they just wanted to help.
Bhutan's philosophy of gross national happiness, or GNH, has forced the world to take notice of this secluded and mysterious kingdom where how are you is more important than how much you make. Bhutan's geography and formidable mountains have kept prying colonizers at bay. We sit down with the executive trustee of the Ogen Choling Foundation, Aji Kunzang Choden, who is the first Bhutanese woman to write and publish in English and regarded as a living treasure trove of culture and history.
First person who named this place and documented it was a great Buddhist master called Longchen Ramjamba, and he's a master of the Dzogchen. Okay, so he came from Tibet, and at that time Bhutan was not a country; it was just the regions south of Tibet. Yeah. So he came into Bhutan, and he lived in Bhutan for 10 years. And within the 10 years, he established 8 centers, and they're all called lings.
The unification of Bhutan led to the emergence of hereditary monarchy in 1907 that still continues today. The well-loved monarchs are considered living gods and have been the fountainhead of the country's progress and modernization.
It was the third king who said, how can a small country like this have such a divided and such a unequal kind of a society? So he said that every person in Bhutan is an equal citizen and nobody is master and nobody is servant. So that sort of equalized the whole society. That was followed by another great big change, which was the land reforms, which said that if we are all equal citizens, we should all have equal access to the resources. The land ceiling was imposed, which meant that no family with one land holding document could own more than 25 acres.
The people in this country can have enough health care, have enough financial, have enough place to stay the house, just little home, If there's no people without little land, so at least we have that home for everyone, land for everyone, health care for everyone, and the education for everyone. So that way it makes the country automatically peace and happiness.
One of the reasons why I decided to do this film is because it is personal to me. 20 years ago, my partner committed suicide from depression, and I set out to find out the meaning of life and the secret to happiness. I felt I had a story to tell, and I wanted to share it because this is not just a story about me, but about the people I meet. I wanted to share a story on overcoming, on how you can get stronger even though life can be difficult.
You were
trying to find yourself, and then you discovered Bhutan, and somehow you were doing a training for DHI.
Yes.
And I happened to be there, and it was not a typical kind of training.
Right.
Loretta, it was we were expecting a corporate training, and then bam, you were there, so colorful, and you yourself were, I guess, colorful, but inside you were damaged good.
Just how do we rebuild after tragedy? Can we ever find happiness again? Can logic help us seek answers, and can endless questioning create clarity? Maybe the best answer is to just stop trying to understand and focus on accepting and rebuilding. Maybe this is the secret to the Bhutanese ability to trudge on despite adversity. Or maybe being happy-go-lucky and accepting our being and becoming is key. Our guide from Druk Asia, Pema Wangda, seems to have all the answers to the birds and the bees.
My father is from Lauri, and my mother is from the lower block, actually, what we call Serti. So my father migrated to, he came to my mother's place, and then that's how they met, and then in between I became.
But in between he became. Censored. In between he became. He became. Yeah.
You know, Loretta, when did you become?
I became. Yeah. My father, my mother, and then I became. Yeah.
I became. On 22nd May.
Yeah. I
love it.
Bhutan is easy to fall in love with, but hard to understand to the casual outsider. Peel away the surface happiness, and you see stories of hardship and poverty. But the Bhutanese choose kindness, compassion, gratitude. Just as an ex-editor from Singapore gave up her creature comforts to pursue her love interest in Bhutan.
I first came to Bhutan last year, 2017 in August, for 1 week. Personally, I really like mountains, right? And the forests and all that. So it was very beautiful. And then I realized that the people were really very beautiful as well. I think they all come from a very good place, emotionally and from the heart as well. They embrace people from all walks of life and from different countries as well. So a lot of good vibes. There was a lot of magic in the air. It's such a spiritual place,
Sure.
It brought me back to how I really was when I was in uni. I studied in Melbourne, and when I was there, I told myself that I don't want to go back to Singapore and be part of the system, be a robot, take the train, the MRT every day, and I didn't want to, but I ended up doing that. I ended up doing that for about 11 or 12 years. When you're so busy in your day-to-day life in Singapore, you lose track of everything else that's so beautiful. You lose track of human connection, human emotions and all that. I was very tired of working. I was tired of chasing the unnecessary material things in life. So then I realized that I needed a change in my life.
It seems peace, love, and happiness could be a choice after all.
So everyone has a different perspective of what happiness is. So for me, it's waking up and choosing to be happy. There have been times in my life where, I wake up and I choose to be a bit more cynical and negative. So I'm glad that's over, and it's always a balance and it's always a choice, and coming over from Singapore, I had to reverse engineer a lot of things.
Right.
Yeah, I had to give up the so-called what people think is happiness, right? Material wealth and all that. So you reverse that and you come back to what life really is, the basics.
Very anyhow, this kind of Singaporean girl come to Bhutan and anyhow make me cry.
Yeah, don't like that.
These people. It's very long now talk English, huh?
I know.
Very quite fun, right? Long time now talk like that. I've never seen a scarecrow in the water. Is that meant to be a scarecrow in the water?
It's not a scarecrow. Oh. So what happens is it's an effigy. So then it's done. It's a religious thing. So perhaps this man had bad things happen to him and a lot of bad energy. So then it's they make an effigy of him and then to cleanse and then send all of the negative energies away. They tell you which direction to throw it at or how to put it, which direction should it face. So you give your own clothes, things that are precious to you. So this hat and the clothes belong to the person who's trying to get rid of all of that negative energy. Usually you just throw them in a direction facing somewhere, but they're not like in the middle of water. This is the first time I'm seeing one in the middle of the water. Lu, lu, chulu, we said. Chulu. Lu, it's called the lu. Lu. Yeah, so then this is the chulu.
Wasn't it Robert Frost who said, "Take the path less traveled"? Who knows what adventures may lie on the roads ahead? The roads in Bhutan are a perfect metaphor for the crossroads the kingdom is facing. The unpaved roads were hard to navigate and made driving slower, but I could take in the beauty of the kingdom. With the new roads, cars go faster, but I found myself blazing over the landscape as the car powers on. What price does progress come at? Will Bhutan still remain happy with the onslaught of development?
This road is I also make.
What do you mean? This
road?
You made this like in Bhutan?
Yeah, frozen.
With the
I always stay here. Stay.
You stay here the 10? When did you do this?
84.
84?
I would have been born then. Peppa was born that year.
I was born already. I was 8 years old. So you made this road?
Yeah.
How long did you take?
Only 9 months. 9 months.
9 miles. We made 9 miles of it. 9 miles.
Like my grandfather's road. I'm gonna lie right here.
Why? Because this is Uncle Sangy's road.
Yeah,
We're gonna like
it's my Uncle Sangy's road. Uncle Sangy's doing crunches. We have to do it.
Oh my God.
We have to do the crunches. Oh my God.
We can walk out in the middle of the road.
This road is I'll make. No, 1984. My name is Sangye Namge.
Every day, Uncle Sangye puts on a happy face and goes to work. He takes visitors to Belela, a local landmark and gateway to central Bhutan. At 3,423 meters above sea level, it is one of the most dangerous roads in the country, and so we shout Lagelo in celebration of our safe crossing. This is where Uncle Sangye lost his son.
Te naba namga ina singachi chechi ki losar ing semale namga se logomme te ngati na paru te amse kolchen phondi selen na yasno kol jala tano amse tele ngaung da chilunga phai da ngaung da amsungi ba lamka ko gathendi ya kachibe da musi isla lai tene de ko ai lapte acho experience no la te la be ni sve ni sen malana ani ome te ini de coaching de tamasi
Happy uncle.
nang sai semcho ma the mo ai de
How do we define happiness? Nobody can define happiness for anybody. So it's personal, and it's moment by moment. You're happy one time, you're not happy, but the sustained happiness will come from the inner inner force or whatever that each person has. And I don't know if the government or the education department or the monasteries can ever change that.
It's actually in your heart.
That's
no?
right.
Like it's not about anything you can really define. Happiness is like feeling that you have, and that defines your life for me. So definitely happiness can be found here in Bhutan, and we are a happy family, so I think that makes it easier.
So happiness is not everyone buy from somewhere. It's not like that. We have born as a nature, precious human being with the happiness. Bhutan is a small And then it is not a developed country, but we have the hidden secret happiness. Because of the saint which come in the Bhutan created so many spiritual here, and the practice non-attachment, and the practice non-violence, and the thinking about compassion and loving kindness. If you compare with the United States, our Bhutan is like a salt, a little bit. Just when we cook the curry, you just need only this much salt for the big curry, right? So that's, Bhutan is that much. But the taste of the salt is that this salt can make a big pan of the curry to very tasty. What we have, it's not only Bhutanese people have a happiness, Western people also have a happiness. In the United States, we already developed too much already, so now there's no way to over that one. So then it's not creating the happiness, it's creating the sadness. So now you cannot make it more than that what we have right now. So at least in the United States, what we have done, what we have in that country, if it is enough, and there's definitely happiness and peace.
Ironically, I'm happier now because I have much less. I took a 90% pay cut.
Ditto.
To be here, and that actually didn't matter. You know that I felt that I could do a lot more with less. Yeah, with a lot less.
People don't think it's real. People always doubt us. When we first wanted to do this, a lot of people were saying, "Oh yeah, they must be here because you have some like high-paying job or marrying some really rich guy or
No such thing. Not at all in Bhutan. And you know, both of us believe, right? We survive on magic and good karma, and we have so far. It's also a very Buddhist philosophy as well. You know, you just think of the present moment. Even for me in my apartment, sometimes I get water supply issues, right? So you're really in the moment because you're trying to figure out how you're going to survive for that day and how you're going to fix all these minor little issues, right, for that day itself. And you won't think about, oh, you know, how is my career going to progress? Am I going to earn 5 figures in 5 years? And you don't think of these things at all. That is also a secret to happiness. I think being in the moment and being very present and very mindful.
I am right. It's a condom dispenser.
Oh my gosh!
I was joking.
OMG.
Let me get them.
Okay. Okay. Select rows, press 1 to 6.
Press 1, press enter.
Okay, I want 5. Row 5. Oh, and then press 1. Then press enter. It's not working!
No, it's coming. I can hear it like word.
Oh,
it's coming.
Wow, there you go. You can get lucky. Someone's gonna get lucky tonight. Yeah.
I don't think we ever claimed that we were the happiest place. I think what happened is that we are striving for happiness, and every human being is striving for happiness. And the difference is because the fourth king articulated and said to the world that he is more concerned about the happiness of the people rather than the GDP, and I think it got into all sort of ways, and I don't think anyone can claim that we are the happiest nation, but it's true that because there was such a awareness of this created through the media hype, the international intellectuals, as well as the Bhutanese policymakers, I think it has become a policy that the happiness of the people is what we should, that's a priority.
Something happened to me at 36 when I arrived in Bhutan, and I saw the simplicity that you Bhutanese embrace. Your life is not easy. I think people tend to think that, oh, it's a land of GNH, so everyone lives in this plush landscape, blue skies, clean air, so happy, free healthcare, free education, everyone is just happy. But the reality is your lives are hard. But I think your embrace of Buddhism and GNH allows you to always see gratitude in every day you wake up saying thank you. Our driver who has
Uncle
seen the
Sanjay,
last loss of his
definitely.
son wakes up every day saying thank you because I know this is a lesson to me. And that is what I took away at 36, that the key to happiness for me is embracing your every flaw and failure and every obstacle in life, never allowing yourself to be a victim of circumstance. And I think most of all you Bhutanese that I've met, every single person that I've met along the way has been that way for me.
Kadena